look at like the nostalgia of these buildings. I love these types of things, man. Like this building is not in use at the moment, but you can just see the history in it right now. And it's obviously well constructed because it's been here forever. But this is what I'm really excited about. TV Tech, I guess this is a former business that was here functioning. And look at the cool stuff that they have. They're Emerson TV VCR players. There's a record player. There's the infamous Kenwood CD portable player. I had that in college. Remember that, walking to school with that. And then there's some speakers that are here. The Winnie the Pooh record player that's here. Solid state phono system. I remember that. Pioneer record players. I mean, this place has it all if you're looking at antique things, as well as the film world. You know, there's some Sears products that are here, singers. So this is really a jewel, and this is what Hometown Chronicles is all about in small town USA. And so these are the things that we seek, and this is a jewel in this county. I'm sure people are very proud of it. You're from Anson County, North Carolina.
I was born here.
You were born here,
Yeah.
right? And Anson County makes up there's a couple of towns that make up Anson County. What are those towns?
Wadesboro, Liesville, Ansonville, Morven, and McFarland.
Okay, so it's like five. It's about five.
Five townships.
Did any of them morph into others, or was it all one at one point, and then it broke up?
It was really all one. There's a lot of uncharted territory. The town started at the PD River in 1749, and at that time Anson County reached as far west as the Mississippi River.
Really?
The Tennessee Territory is part of Anson County, and its northern boundary was the Virginia state line. Its southern boundary reached all the way to Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Okay.
And then as time went on, Rowan County was created at Anson County in 1752.
And that's far.
Yeah.
That's close to Charlotte. That's in Salisbury.
Mecklenburg County was created from Anson County in 1762. Richmond County and Montgomery County was created from Anson County both in 1779. And then in 1842, Union County was created from sections of Mecklenburg County and Anson County.
Okay. So that makes sense why you see so many of these surnames in all of these different counties.
Yeah.
Because at one point it was all the same.
That's right.
At some point.
Uh-huh.
Wow. Okay.
This is Parsons Drugstore here that's been on the corner since 1875.
Rexall.
The earliest record I've really been able to find is 1882, when it talks about when the first building was built. So there might have been another building here from
Prior to that?
Prior to that.
Okay,
Go
cool.
over here and see him.
Let's go check them out. You know, I've been to about, I want to say 7 of these murals that they have that this person does across the state, and they're beautiful murals that they do.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because so many of these artists that were born in North Carolina, you know, they leave and they go to other places to do great things. When I think of John Coltrane, golly, who was up there in Black Mountain? Roberta Flack, like all these great North Carolina musicians, and they're getting these murals, and I think it's just, you know, it's pretty dope that individuals are able to now connect them back to where they're from. So speaking of that, tell us about Anson County and some of the people that are from here. We know Junkyard Dog, Lou Alcindor, aka Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, mother was raised here.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has a lot of cousins that live all over Anson County now. Probably has first cousins that live all over the area. About 20 years ago, Kareem's girlfriend contacted me about working on his family history, but she didn't tell me it was for him. She said she was doing this for her boyfriend as a surprise. So I got busy on the research, and then 2 or 3 weeks later, some of the cousins that live in southern Anson County saw me and talked to me and said, "You're working for our cousin." I said, "Who?" Kareem. I said, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I did the research. I mailed it all to her. That was like in 2003. And then in 2007, the TV producers of Who Do You Think You Are contacted me about doing Kareem's history for a segment of their program.
Sweet.
And so I said, well, I've already made money off this one time. Here's Kareem's girlfriend's contact information. Contact her. But I said, I don't think you'd be interested in doing his family history because I've watched your show and you focus on the spectacular events of a celebrity's life, and there's nothing spectacular about Kareem's ancestors. They were all
what happened?
They were all poor sharecropping families.
Okay.
From way back.
Yeah.
So I've traced Kareem's ancestry back to a slave man named Barnes, who was born in 1799 and died in 1849, and he's buried in an abandoned slave cemetery on the Color Purple property.
Really, the Bennett?
The Bennett.
Because you took me there.
Yes, I took you there.
Wow.
I learned that later, that Barnes was buried there.
Wow.
So he was born about 1799.
Okay. And then, of course, Junkyard Dog.
Yes.
Yeah. And listen, I was a huge 80s wrestling fan.
Yes.
Ultimate Warrior, Jake the Snake, Coco Beware, who was Andre the Giant,
Yes.
Who died in North Carolina.
Yeah. He lived in Ellerby.
Yeah, he lived in Ellerby, and so many other WWE
I think his farm
stars.
is still in the family, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
I read something on that. Somebody did a blog about that not too long ago. But tell us about Junkyard Dog, because unfortunately he died in a car wreck.
He killed in a car wreck.
Yeah, coming from his daughter's graduation.
Up here, right? Up here in Anson County.
Yeah, tell us about Junkyard Dog as well.
Well, he was born in December of 1952 in Wadesboro.
And what's his real name?
Sylvester Ritter.
Sylvester Ritter.
Yes. And he graduated from Bowman Senior High School in 1971 or 1972. And he was a football player in high school. So he started out his professional career as a football player and busted his knee. So he decided to take up a wrestling career.
Okay, good stuff. And does he still have family members in the area?
He has a sister.
Okay.
Who lives around here.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the point of Hometown Chronicles USA with Kyle and I, is that we're just looking to get all of these uncovered stories that people may not necessarily know about and bringing them to life. And now we have Blind Boy Fuller, in which we are right here in front of the mural, which is absolutely amazing. So you got to give us some history about
there's one error there, because he was not born in Wadesboro. He was born in Burnsville Township, which is part of Ansonville Township. And he was born to can't think of his parents' name. His mother's name was Hyatt, Hyatt. But the family moved. He was born about 1907 in Burnsville Township, and the family had moved to Rockham by 1915.
Okay.
But then in 1917, some of his brothers came over to Ansonville to get married, and then in 1926, around there, he married a young girl in Venusville, South Carolina, and then in the 1930s, I think he started going blind.
Okay.
And so he got discovered by these New York record company, and
was it like RCA or something like that?
Something like that.
Yeah. I think it was one of the bigger ones.
So they were taking him back and forth to New York City to record records back then. And he died in Durham. He was living in Durham.
Yeah.
And he became a basket weaver because he was blind. He couldn't do much of anything.
But he had the hand skills.
He had the hand skills.
So he could still. Okay.
So he was buried in an unmarked grave in Durham, North Carolina, in 1941. And like the 1990s, when an interest appeared on his behalf of his life and legacy and whatever, and so a historical marker was erected in Durham.
Okay. But we got the mural here.
Got the mural here.
That's good.
When the young man was 3 years ago, when the young man was starting to do this mural, he drove his lift bucket truck out here, but it had rained a lot, so he kept sinking to the ground. So it took.
It's kind of how we're doing a little bit right now.
He had to wait several more months before the ground was solid enough for him.
I read that. Yeah, I read that there was a delay in it. But how was it when people came out and saw it? Well, I'm sure it was pretty electric. You got a hometown
pretty
guy.
Electric. Yeah. A lot of people come here to see this.
Yeah, most definitely.
And when people that heard about him and not expecting to see this, and they come over, drive over the hill or come from that direction, it's gonna go. They have an oh wow moment.
Yeah. I'm sure some people stomp on the brakes and like, oh no, wait a minute.
Yeah, a lot of people have been up here to take pictures of him.
Yeah.
So it's an incredible history.
It is, man, and definitely some history makers and some legends as well, right here in Anson County, North Carolina.
That's right. Yes.
Most definitely. So we're grabbing some coffee now.
We can
some
go
tea rather.
Or lemonade.
Lemonade. It's a little bit too cold for lemonade.
It sure is, but I can't stand the coffee.
All right, Corey, right?
Yeah.
All right.
How you doing? Very nice to meet you. Very nice to meet you.
Coming down here years ago and seeing all these buildings, and this was abandoned at one point. And so, what motivated you to start business here and to get this back rolling now? And are you from here?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Anson County, born and raised. I'm 25, so I'm my whole life here, and I love Anson County. It's a great place, and I think that the biggest thing for us is that I think that it's a great place, and you drive by to these buildings kind of be empty, and you go, there could be something cool in there.
Yeah.
And for me, I leave work and I was like, there's nothing to do uptown. There's not, there's not much to do. And so wanting that space where you have to go all across to Charlotte or Monroe to do something fun, you can come here in Wadesboro. You get coffee, you can shop local, you can go and grab some good food. It's all about coming back home and finding a small shop, and then supporting those. And that's what I really wanted. You kind of have a place that you can go at the end of the day and kind of, you're still home. You have to travel 45 minutes away. Exactly. You can still come here and hang out, and it'd be the spot to go.
Yeah,
so that's what I wanted.
Most definitely, man. Now, history is something that Kyle and I definitely love doing. He has a company called Preserving Spaces. I have a company called History Before Us, and together we've done Hometown Chronicles USA. From a historical perspective, when you go to like a Charlotte or a Raleigh and you see all these big new shiny buildings that's popping up, then we're here and you still have kind of like the buildings that have been here since the 1800s, early 1900s. What does that mean to you from a cultural perspective, and being able to have the sense of preservation, and then also having your own shop in a historic building? I presume.
I think it feels really cool, because you go to Charlotte, you see all these new buildings, you go, well, that's cool because it's new. But I feel like you can go and see the history behind these buildings. I mean, Steve does a great job of highlighting the histories. You can see those histories and go, wow, we're sitting on the spot that my grandparents shopped at back in the day, or we're sitting on a spot that's been here for a long time, has such a rich history inside of it. Why not? I love seeing a new building. I'm for a new building, but I love that you can walk into space and go, wow, this was Roses, and this was Roses, and you can walk up the street and go, wow, this is where BC Moore was, or you can walk and see this is where Belks was, because we had all these prominent spots, and things can happen back in those spots, but it's really cool to see that history in that. And you can see, like, hey, my grandparents came here on a Saturday, unloaded the car, walked around Wadesboro, and saw these cool spots. And I think it's awesome. I can come back in here, and my grandparents say it, my aunts and uncles say, like, hey, this was so and so, and it's cool to see that.
Yeah.
So that's been a lot. It's been a lot of fun.
I love it, man. So, and you grew up here in Anson County. How was that experience? You said never moved away.
Never moved away. I stayed here. And Coley Hill is a neighborhood. And you will see Coley Hill because Dr. Patton lives in the same neighborhood. All my books center around Coley Hill here in Anson County.
Okay.
So in a little bit, we're going to go and meet Dr. Patton. Could you tell us a little bit about the importance that Dr. Patton played in this community?
She was first black principal. She started teaching here in Anson County. She is from Warsaw, North Carolina. She moved here after graduating from A&T College. And she taught at all black school, Polkton School, was Fulton High School then.
Yeah.
But they changed the name. Well, she turned that community around.
Really?
Oh wow.
Her teachers.
Okay.
And back then it was all black. But she wanted every child to learn and to become a better person.
Absolutely.
She was a strict teacher.
Yeah.
She didn't play.
This community, the history of this community, what is it that you can say to this day that you are proud of being a resident, lifetime resident of Anson County? What is it so special about your hometown that you really enjoy, even to this day?
In this community where we live, we didn't experience a lot of violence.
Okay.
My daddy kept me close. Home. I couldn't go out and date, do all those other things that other people do. But we were raised in a integrated community. Our neighbors were covered. We didn't experience a lot of things that others did.
Yeah.
So we were poor, but my daddy always told us he didn't like that word.
Yeah.
We just didn't have what a lot of other people had.
Sure.
But we didn't know we were poor because we never went hungry.
Yeah.
And I just had a conversation with another young man last week about the family. My parents had 10 children. His parents had 14. We never slept on the floor. We never went hungry.
Yeah.
We always had food to eat. I remember this service station in our neighborhood called Arrow Service Station. The owner sold food also. And we had an account. So we were young. We would go to the store and get what we wanted.
Yeah. They had the ledger books back then. Yeah.
And Dad paid the bill.
Well, look, it's
like to take a picture with all that.
yeah, most definitely. We'd definitely love to get a picture of you and the crew for sure before we head over there.
We're going to Dr. Patton's one. We're going to Dr. Patton's.
Yeah, we're going to do that. So maybe in front of the Uptown Coffee Time.
Yes, she arrived here when she was 20 years old in 1947. And she was in the school system for near like 60 years.
Dr. Patton, okay.
When she retired, she was in her late 70s when she retired.
As a school teacher?
Oh no, as a
administrator.
Okay. And so she'll be 97 years old in January.
Wow. It seems like every time I come here to Anson County and I'm with you, we're talking to folks that have just lived quite a while.
And I ran in myself talking one day that we think that Dr. Patton is the last of the old time school teachers.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
My name is Altheria Smith Patton. My father was Joshua Willis Smith, J.W. Smith.
How were the students? What were you dedicated to doing with the young minds that were in your classroom? What were your end goals with the student population that you had, especially during a time period in which segregation was taking place? What did you see in those students that perhaps other school systems may not have been able to see in these students?
Well, I wanted my students to be the best they could be. I remember I had a student, and I think his book is over there. When other students were getting ready to go to a college or go to a new situation, I told young man, you don't have to go to college to be successful. Just get a job and do it the best you can, and then you will be successful.
She asked me to write a story and to bring my tablet and pen and interview her. Well, I've been knowing Miss Dr. Patton for a long time as a child, so some of the things I knew, but her background, her father and where she was from, I didn't know. So we talked about it, and I wrote it down and went home and tried to put it in a story form, and we did that for several months. And I found out some things that I didn't know. Dr. Patton was in the process of writing her book herself.
Okay.
And this was her title, A Long Journey Home. She leaves a legacy here in the county.
Yeah.
Family-wise, the women, how you're supposed to carry yourself. I've never seen her out of place. I've never heard her say anything negative about anyone. And
Well, I believe that somewhere it was instilled.
yes, it was.
You reap what you sow.
You do, Dr. Patton. You do.
You reap what you sow.
Mhm.
If you sow bad things,
You reap.
if you plant black-eyed peas, you're gonna pick peas.
Mhm.
All right, so we are here downtown Anson County,
County,
in the metropolis,
Wadesboro, yeah.
Wadesboro, and in 1985 there was this blockbuster movie that came out, and I didn't know if people thought how big it was going to be.
No.
Steven Spielberg directed.
Yeah.
Color Purple. And
Yeah.
I remember going to my Aunt Bertie's house back in Tennessee, and we would always watch The Color Purple over her house
Yes.
on the VHS player back in the day.
Uh-huh.
And where we're at right now are the steps that Mr. walked up. Yep.
To go inside to the immigration office.
Yep.
To get the paperwork rolling, to get Nettie out of Africa and back to her home, to her sister's home in Georgia.
Absolutely. However, Georgia was actually
Here.
in
Yeah,
North
here.
Carolina. Tell me how monumental that was for the county.
Local people involved in the process. If Miss Mary Neal Hill of Ansonville was living, she would talk about how when Steven Spielberg and the crew enjoyed lunch in her backyard.
Wow.
When they were filming that railroad scene of where Celie is throwing candy out to the little girl on the track.
Yeah.
That was filmed in Ansonville Township.
Do a lot of visitors, when they come to the Historical Society, do they come here and say, hey?
Well, actually, they don't realize that The Color Purple was filmed here until they see that big banner on the wall. And they ask, why is that on the wall? And I say, well, The Color Purple was filmed here.
Yeah.
And they find that mind-blowing.
Yeah, man. You know, the energy around the town during that time period, do you remember?
Exciting.
Talk to us about
There was
that.
so many people, local people in the movie that were extras. There was so many people that I'm still learning something new every day.
Yeah.
There was so many people involved in the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
One gentleman, I've been told, he fed all the animals that were in the movie. And then some people loaned their antique cars to the film crew.
Oh, really?
And just one thing after another.
and another portion at the store where Miss Sophia knocked out the guy.
That's in
Marshville, right? And so it's amazing that so many parts of the county was involved with the inception of the color purple, and how Steven Spielberg sought out, or whoever part of his crew sought out this specific space and said that that's the place where we're going to film this blockbuster movie, The Color Purple, which still has an effect today, obviously, because another one was just released. So I have to do something real quick. I gotta do the steps, man.
Well, go ahead.
I gotta do the steps. This is my Rocky running up in Philadelphia, right?
Yeah.
So I'm Mr. and I'm coming to reunite Nettie and Miss Seeley. I'm doing the right thing, like Spike Lee said. I remember it because he had his thing, and he was walking up.
He was walking up,
and he came on in.
He had the money hidden in the chicken coop.
He had the money hidden in the chicken coop.
He was saving the money up.
Suge Avery.
Yes.
Helped find it.
Yes.
No, Suge Avery didn't help find it. It was Seeley that found it.
Seeley.
However, Suge was a very intricate part of her breaking free.
Her freedom through Suge, yeah.
Anson County, y'all. Little known nuggets that you may not have known. So it's been a day.
It has
Kyle, I
been.
don't know about you, but we've been traversing Anson County, going here, there, and everywhere. But I did have a couple of other questions. So obviously we're here in the Historical Society. So what is it that you do here, and what?
I've been employed here 8 years, and I'm known as the outreach coordinator. So I communicate with people about becoming members here, and I was originally hired here 8 years ago to establish a local Black History collection. And I basically started at ground zero here, and now I've accumulated over 1,200 files of local Black history, and over 2 or 3 dozen books on local Black history. And when I say local Black history, I'm referring to Anson County and the surrounding counties, including the South Carolina counties of Chesterfield, Darlington, and Marlboro, who's also connected with our history. And so over the years I've advertised pretty heavily on Facebook about the collection here, and so I've been visited by Black folk who live in every state of the United States, including Canada, whose ancestry came from Anson County.
Wow.
It's been quite a trip.
Yeah.
And I'm still learning something new every day after all these years.
Yeah. What is it about Anson County that you feel people should know as it relates to how it has lent itself to the fabric of the state of North Carolina?
It would appear that our local Black history documentation is better preserved than any other area I've researched. And that's why I'm able to collect so much information. And in my opinion, every city in the United States needs to establish their own local Black history archives before everything's lost and forgotten, because so much is being forgotten.
Yeah, you say it's really well preserved here in Anson County. Where are you getting these sources from?
The old newspapers, our old newspapers date back to the 1840s, and I've had a number of Black folk come to talk to me about their histories, and instead of me writing it down in a hurry, I asked them to go home and type it up for me, as they can remember it. And some folks don't want to, and I tell them that you are probably the only person that has these memories, and once you're gone, that's it.
It's a wrap.
I said, I can't remember it all. I said, you've got to realize how important this is to you and me and your descendants. Do it before it's too late, and usually they'll go home and type it up and bring it back to me.
Yeah.
Because they realize how serious I am about the matter.
Yeah. So in addition to a pretty good newspaper archive, it sounds like you've done a really good job at collecting oral history from the community.
It's been a good time, yes. Mm-hmm. All these years, it has been.
And you've had pretty good participation from the community as far as bringing those stories forward.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming you're archiving them here in this, in this room so that
in
they
our
can
files,
be preserved.
yeah.
Wow, that's really great.
Yeah.
And every area of the country needs to do this.
Yeah. And
even though they say there's not any of their history there like it is here, I said you have to dig and find it. Sometimes by accident.
Yeah.
Like I have.
Yeah. Well, you do enough poking and prying, and eventually get what you need, right? For sure. Well, on behalf of Hometown Chronicles USA, man, we greatly appreciate you for taking us around and allowing us to bug you and introducing us to people in the community. Dr. Patton and Mrs. Harrington and Corey. This was really, 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 really amazing.
Yeah.
Man, so we greatly appreciate you.
I hope this interview with Corey increases his business up there.
Absolutely.
At the coffee house.
Absolutely. Thanks, Steve.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Kyle.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.